Today's presentation will be on the Seeds of Change Service Learning Project and Research Progress by me, Christopher Garcia. Introduction to the Service Learning Project. My classmates and my service learning project was based off the current issue of food insecurity in our local community. We split into two groups, one that would collect and donate cans to the Eagles Peak Food Pantry, and one that would volunteer their time to also be at the Eagles Peak Food Pantry. This relates to the parable of the sower because they had to deal with food insecurity in the book. They also had to endure and have resilience. This was a common situation in the book, and it's something that people close to us, like our neighbors and friends, have to deal with even if we don't know about it. As of right now, the project is completed, and as far as I know, everybody has done their part. Service Learning Project Reflection. So for my members' contribution, I do believe every member played their part. As far as I know, all the people who donated cans and had to collect them, collected cans and donated them to the food pantry. And the people who had to volunteer did end up volunteering again at the food pantry. I think ways that we kind of had to do little sacrifices was we had to give some of our own time, and I personally had to give or use some of my money for the project to buy some cans as well. One thing that I learned is that I think me as well as my classmates all gained valuable insight on the issues of food insecurity, especially in the local community and even with people that are our classmates at IVCC. Another thing that we learned and that kind of helped the local community was that we were able to spread the word. I went to my job and I was able to put up a couple flyers in two different spots. And with that, it kind of gave a brief explanation on what this was about. And I think it really kind of helped spread the word with the issues of food insecurity in the local community. As for my reflection and successes and failures on the project, so I asked my coworkers to bring in some cans if they were able to, and fortunately they did. I had to contribute a little too also, but I think that's all part of the project as well. My goal was to collect at least 15 cans, but I ended up collecting 18. Well, it was around 16 cans and 2 boxes of cereal. I had to put up multiple signs throughout my offices. That was one of the kind of issues I ran into, because I put up one in the break room and I just was not getting any donations, so I ended up putting one, I guess, in a second break room that we have. I think one of the successes that I felt was that it felt really good to donate those cans and kind of give them to people in need. And one of the kind of scarier parts or portions of the project was that it felt like I wasn't getting anybody to donate. Like I said, I put up one sign in the first break room and nobody was donating. And once I put up the second one in the second break room, I think that's when more people started donating, especially to that one. As for my research question, I decided to kind of ask myself, how do local community acts of service, such as helping a food pantry with donations and volunteer work, help build local bonds, resilience, and solidarity in local communities that are affected by food insecurity? How do I think this is significant to the project? I think that this question really helps answer how stuff like this can help build local bonds with your neighbors, with your coworkers, with your classmates. I think it is able to help people in need. It helps people make a difference in a local community by taking action into their own hands. I believe people act in an adaptive way to gain resilience, and I think it helps expose people to different challenges people around us face. Again, I think all of these are very important when it comes to helping out our local community. If we all want to have a better community around us, I think we all kind of need to do our part in doing this, in volunteering when we have the chance. Um, and yeah, I think asking this question, getting some information for it would really help answer that. For my first source evaluation, I decided to choose Feeding America. Feeding America is a part of a nationwide network of food banks, food pantries, and community-based organizations in the United States working to create a future where no one is hungry. It provides a strong, extensive understanding of food insecurity in the United States. So one of the main reasons I chose this is obviously because they own many food pantries around the United States, and they actually provide very important stats, which some of them include this quote that I added, which says that a recent Feeding America Food Bank survey showed that 80% of food banks were reporting either an increase or steady demand for emergency food services. Again, this is asking people for volunteers and why that's important. By incorporating Food America's goals, it shows how significant of an impact one person can make on a larger scale. They go very into detail about that. They state why it's very important to be volunteering, and yeah, they also speak about how these issues have gotten worse in recent years, and they kind of go into depth about what social and economic issues have caused shortages of food. For my second source evaluation, I decided to choose USDA. USDA stands for the United States Department of Agriculture. This leads on food, agriculture, natural resources, rural development, and nutritional issues. On this website, I was able to find new contemporary statistics about the issues of food insecurity around the United States. This has very up-to-date statistics about this, and it goes into more of a detail on the types of people who use food pantries and the groups of people who use food pantries, which people are most affected by food insecurity in the United States. And I think it's a really good tool. It provides information on how much of different foods are donated to food pantries. So it goes into detail about if 90% of food donations are canned goods or if it's cereal, so on and so forth. It also explains which organizations are most charitable, but it also states how they rely heavily on volunteers, which is again why I think this project is so important, because we were able to volunteer, and this kind of states why these big corporations, these big organizations need volunteers to donate. To do a third source evaluation, which is the National Library of Medicine. NLM, which is the National Library of Medicine, states that it maintains and makes available a vast print collection and produces electronic information resources on a wide range of topics that are searched billions of times a year by millions of people around the world. So it has obviously a lot of information. This source is more based on, obviously focused on food pantry stuff and food insecurity. It explains how volunteering has been linked to reducing personal symptoms of stress, depression, and anxiety. So again, they have done research on this to see how volunteering really does benefit not only the people who are receiving the goods, but also the people who are providing that stuff to the food pantries. It explains other societal benefits one can gain by donating, such as building connections with people in your community. This also explains how volunteering can strengthen communities by bringing together challenges that need to be faced while working together. If you guys have any questions, you can let me know. You can reply to this thread on Brightspace, or you can comment on the YouTube video I'm gonna make about this. But I'll be very open to answering any questions you guys have about this project and my essay, my question, whatever you guys want to ask. I'm open to answer anything. My sources, these are the three sources I used, which are my three source evaluations.